when you get the call, the opportunity to come join the team here in California. Obviously, the season finishes up, but what was that like to get that call?
Yeah, a little bittersweet. Obviously, I was pretty upset that we lost. I mean, we were down some bodies, and you never want to leave that ring for the last time of the year. But my agent called me, and my parents called me, and we all hopped on a call, and it was, a little bittersweet. But I was really excited right away, and took the sad emotions away a bit, but a little lingering still.
Well, and now I would imagine it starts to build as you're kind of around the team a little bit, moving forward here, and obviously a chance to join them. What's the anticipation like?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Excited to see the boys. A little nervous. I haven't seen them in a while, obviously, but just excited to be kind of a part of it and be able to watch and kind of experience this whole fight they're in.
What about when you look at sort of you as a player and how much you've evolved over the course of the season? It's fair to say you're a different player than the last time you saw these guys?
Yeah, really similar to when I was last year, but I've added a lot to my game. I think, especially on the other side of the puck, I've got a lot better at going through hands, and my angles and gaps are a lot better. I think around the net I gotta obviously continue to add some strength, but I'm fronting more pucks, and if I can't box out, I got to front. But I think with the puck, I think I've taken it to another level.
Feels like a long time ago now, but what were your takeaways from your first NHL training camp and preseason?
I took away a lot. Just how hard it is to be there, how much strength I had to put on, how much more I had to be in the gym, and to be honest, I wasn't in the gym enough the last 2 years during the season, and this year I was in the gym at least 2 or 3 times a week. So understand the importance of that, and understand what I had to work on, and what parts of my game I had to get better at and focus on a little more than others. I learned a lot.
Did you use that as fuel for what was a record-breaking season for you in the Ontario Hockey League?
In terms of going back to junior, or
yeah, going back to junior, and how things went for you during training camp in the preseason?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I think I had a good game in Seattle. In Vancouver, I got hemmed in my zone the whole game, and I struggled against Hughes and Pedersen. So that was a bit of an eye opener, but I've always been a pretty motivated kid. So it definitely gave some extra motivation there, and then. I had a little bit of a slow start to the season, but kind of was able to pick it up towards those last three quarters of it.
Do you feel like you're stronger now than you were at the start of the season?
Yeah, way stronger. I could just tell that I could feel it in my game for one, but I could also see it in the gym, and I'm pushing a lot more weight than I was last year.
I'm sure it's tough to know until you actually get into a game, but do you feel like you're ready to play professional hockey?
You never know, right? I think I gotta feel it out, especially next, I guess, fall or spring, summertime, and see what happens. But I'm confident in my ability. I think if I had the opportunity, I'd be able to perform in an NHL game. But I guess we'll see what happens here.
I know you were focused on your team in Saginaw, but it's been a fun season in Calgary. Have you followed the Flames closely?
Yeah, a lot. The 10 o'clock games don't really help, but. As much as I can. I was watching last night until, Maddie scored the third one. Then I, kind of passed out because that time change there. But, whenever I get to put a game on, I try and watch. And, it's kind of cool because I built relationships with a couple of the guys in the summer, and, kind of cheering for them and being able to kind of be like, oh, I kind of know that guy. Like it kind of makes it more fun to watch.
When you get through the draft year and that process and all it takes, plus you're going through the grind of going all the way to Memorial Cup and winning it, and has this year allowed you to kind of take a breath and focus on different things a little bit?
A little bit. I think it's always been go for the last 2 years. So, maybe not, because in a sense I'm still doing, still in that grind, still in that schedule every day. So, I think probably. Once I go back home for summer, I'll be able to kind of take a breath finally. But there's always work to be put in.
You seem like you're a guy that likes to rise to the occasion, and you've shown that everywhere you've played. Have you got your head around what it might be like to play in an NHL game?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm just taking it day by day, trying to kind of enjoy the process, and whatever happens. Whether or not I play or not, I'm going to be the number one supporter of this team, and I'm hoping that the team makes playoffs, because I'm more excited to kind of see what the city looks like come playoff time, because I've seen a lot of clips and videos of that playoff run they last had.
I think it's safe to say that Flames fans are super excited about you as a prospect, and most have followed you pretty closely since draft day. But for those who haven't, how would you describe yourself as a player?
Yeah, definitely a dynamic blue liner. I think someone that likes to play with the puck, and I think I like to make my teammates better. But I think the strongest part of my game is just kind of my vision and my hockey IQ there. And I think I'm rounding out my game defensively, and I'm slowly taking steps. But I'm a puck possession defenseman.
Have you modeled your game after another player, or are you kind of one of a kind?
I like to watch Quinn Hughes. I think this year was a year where I really watched Quinn. I think after that game in Abbotsford, kind of seeing him from bench level, it was kind of a completely different view of him. And obviously Makar is the best defenseman in hockey right now, but I think Quinn, I see a lot of similarities in things we do, and I really like watching him play.
You talk about the last few years being go, go, go. Are there any current players, former players, mentors that have just kind of helped you navigate all that?
I don't know. I think my coach has been, probably my biggest mentor, and Laz and Drinks there, my GM, have kind of helped me all the way through and given me what I needed. And he always told me if I ever needed a maintenance day, I could take one, but I never did. But they've just been my number one supporters, but also my biggest mentors.